Sonic and the Black Knight, a game in the Sonic series that released on the Wii back in the year 2009. Initially met with mixed reviews by critics of the time, it seemed like most people did not enjoy this game. Sonic and the Black Knight was a part of the storybook series, which began with Sonic and the Secret Rings back in 2007. Was the game really all that bad? Was it terrible? A masterpiece? Here's my thoughts on it. After such a kick-ass intro, we start with our first point, presentation. The aesthetic of the storybook games are obviously supposed to look like, well, storybooks, with cutscenes that look like you're flipping through pages of an old book, beautifully drawn stills and images for each scene, menus giving off that old-timey feel, and of course, a Sonic game's usual strong point, wonderful music. Tracks like Night of the Wind, Theme of Merlina, Deep Woods, Fight the Night, and so on and so forth come to mind. Story. The story begins with Sonic being called into the story of King Arthur by Merlina the Wizard, leading to our favorite blue blur needing to help her in taking down the invulnerable King Arthur. Armed with the talking sword named Caliburn, he not only seeks to defeat the king, but also become the best knight he can be. Along the way, Sonic meets other characters of the story who are basically other versions of his friends and people he knows. Most notably, Amy as Lady of the Lake, Shadow as Sir Lancelot, Knuckles as Sir Gawain, and Blaze as Lady Percival. I thought the story was very well thought out and interesting. Sonic in a setting he doesn't belong in, and training to become a true knight is a very compelling story. Sonic himself is written perfectly for who his character is supposed to be, a cocky, impatient, yet caring person who always does his best to help others. Now that's a Sonic we love to see. Gameplay. People complain about the control scheme in Sonic and the Secret Rings, having to tilt the Wiimote forward and back to move around, overall being awkward to control at certain points. Black Knight improves upon this aspect by allowing you to utilize the nunchuck alongside the Wiimote. Basically, you swing your sword, being the Wiimote in this situation, and run around using the stick on the nunchuck, making the controls feel way less awkward and more fun to play. The level design is very linear. Then again, for the type of game it is, it doesn't really need to be open, as long as you have a fun time traversing through the level, slicing up enemies and blocking hits when you need to. As for the move Sonic has, he has his homing attack that doesn't really do any damage unless you slice an enemy while you homing attack. A stomp that quickly brings you back down to the ground but also halts your momentum. And, of course, the sword that you swing. That's a pretty big part of the game. It's very simple, yet very enjoyable. Conclusion. You may ask how I'd rate the game, and yes, I was very positive when talking about it, but it does have its definite flaws. Although the motion controls for the sword were a clever idea, sometimes it fails to register that you moved it, and it can still be kinda awkward to control at times. Not as much as Sonic and the Secret Rings though. Some levels I had some difficulty with and were kinda frustrating, and not so much for the rest of them, but it was just a couple of particular levels. I loved this game, really, and have beat it twice, once as a small child and again more recently. I think it's a great game that has lots of fun packed into it. I would give it a score of 7 out of 10. Anyway, thank you for watching my dumb little review. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, maybe subscribe or something. Only if you want to, though. See ya!